imagine, for me, last year, sitting in being in a rather stressful time. Just moved to Philadelphia, about to start a new job, just got married, just, trying to figure out a new apartment and all of that. In addition to that, a very dear friend of mine has just been in a very bad accident, so that I, with most of my friends, are sort of holding vigil at the hospital. So my time is taken up with 1,000 worries of my own, plus 1,000 worries for my friends. But at the time, an out-of-town visitor decides to appear. A friend of my husband's and mine that wasn't able to make it to the wedding, so really wanted to stop by with her new boyfriend, that we are both very dear friends with her ex-husband, this wonderful, sweet Swedish man who is fantastic. Love her as well. Have no idea what to make of new Brazilianaire, I think was the suggested term, that she's dating. So they drive through town. They're going to come, and they're like, okay, we are going to show up. We're sorry, so sorry. It's going to be about 11 o'clock, but we'll come in, we'll have a drink, and then, we'll go to bed and wake up in the morning, take you out to brunch, it'll be great, and then we'll be out of your hair. And I would think, oh, this sounds like a wonderful visit. This sounds great. This is great. So waiting up, 11, we're still hanging out. We're like, this is no problem. Get a phone call. Oh, we're running a little late. It's like, okay. And by this time, I try to be a good host. I want to be around. I want the house to be clean. I want everything, drinks to be ready and all of that. So I'm still willing to stay awake. But I get stressed out, and I smoke. So when I get stressed out and I smoke, and since I'm a smoker, it's more like waiting for them to come and having cigarette after cigarette. 12, oh no, they call again. Oh, sorry, we're still running a little late. 1, oh, so sorry, running a little late. 2, and they're coming from DC. I'm like, how do you not know that you're not going to be here within 2 hours if you're coming from DC? So finally around 3 a.m. they call and say, okay, we're in the area. We'll park, come down and wait for us while we find a space, and then we'll come up and hang out and go to bed. So then 45 minutes later, after finding a parking place and finally getting to our apartment, they come in, everyone crashes, and this is fine. We wake up early in the morning, thinking, okay, it's fine, we can chat over brunch, that'll be good, still plan can go as it's supposed to. In all this waiting, I've used up all my cigarettes, sadly, and I'm kind of starting to be like, it's morning, alright, I can hold off till noon, that's what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to quit, trying to cut down, hold off till noon. But they're like, okay, we get up, the shower, then they're like, okay, we're going to New York today, we need to find a hotel, because they haven't found one. That's perfectly normal to plan to go to New York, stay in a hotel, and not get one the day that you're going, and at the same time refuse to pay more than $50 for it. So then they're like, oh, well, can we borrow your computer? And my husband and I both have computers, so they both use our computers, and spend the whole morning looking for hotels. And that our discussion, our hanging out time consists of, well, we can get this for $80, but don't you think we can do better? Oh, let's go into this website. And it's just, that lasts, it's noon, I'm getting hungry, my husband's getting hungry, I'm dying for cigarettes, and more that, we're sitting there watching our guests use our computer, and saying, like, I'm sure we can get it for 50, I'm sure we can get it for 50, maybe 45 even. And still time progresses. In the midst, they keep taking long breaks and introducing us. They've just gone to IKEA. Our friend has bought all sorts of interesting Swedish paste food, like, cream, shrimp, and like smoked egg things that she's trying to convince us to eat on bread. And so that's our food. While I'm sort of saying, like, I've got $4 in cash, the bodega downstairs doesn't take credit cards, I really want to buy cigarettes, can you lend me $2? And they're like, no, we don't want to enable you to smoke. So in general, I'm just dying. And I'm really actually supposed to be at the hospital with my friend at this time while we're waiting, till finally they give up on the hotel search, they give in, they pay $90 for a hotel room in New York, are like, fine, okay, let's go out to dinner at 5 p.m. After they promised brunch and all of that. We go out, it's actually a lovely talk, we have a nice dinner, but then you know, you're supposed to come up and have that whole nice little, like, you pay, now you pay. But instead, they're like, oh, you pay. And disappear. And, you know, go off to New York. At which point I head off to hospital. They've left New York, packed really quickly, stolen my CD case, which they dropped off randomly 3 days later. But happily, they left behind a money belt. I don't know why you carry around a money belt, but they left behind a money belt, which had, as I opened it up, discovered $80 in it, which kept me in cigarettes for quite a long time. So,